When I retrieved this beeper from the ocean attached to the drone, there was a solid blue light on, and I couldn't, pressing the button didn't do anything in terms of turning it off or changing the status. So I was quite surprised when I nervously plugged it in to a charger to see that it appears to be alive and it's charging. So time will tell as to whether it's still functional or not. But yeah, a bit surprised. It's the first thing I've tested since the ditching. So this is the day after the ditching. So when I got it home, so I disconnected the battery underwater in the sea, and then when I got it home I rinsed it thoroughly I soaked it in cold water for a short time, and then I rinsed it off with cold fresh water. So here it is. I've taken the props off, obviously. Here's the lid. So I've got to test the camera and also the VTR, which has lost its UFL connected antenna, so I've got some more of those on order. And here's the body of the thing. I can see straight away there's a bit of corrosion on some of the solder points here on the tabs for soldering. But interestingly, nothing mechanically gone wrong. All the wiring to the motors and everything, and from the way it powered down, I didn't expect to see a problem there. So what I've got here is a hairdryer, and I'm about to try and dry it out before I take any further steps, because after that the next thing will be to plug the battery in. As you notice, I use plug-ins for both the VTX and for the ELRS receiver, so at least I can unplug those and do an initial test to see if I get anywhere, yeah, with the ESCs and everything else fires up. But now for a bit of work with this. Here's the full stack that went into the water. So the top we've seen before. There's the body, and what lives underneath it all, or hangs underneath it all, is this. And this, held on by a couple of Velcro straps, is the housing that the GoPro goes in, with a polychromatic filter out the front that runs ring around your average ND filter, built for fishermen. Okay, so this normally slots in here. So with the weight of the GoPro, when it crashed, it flipped over, went straight down, it flipped over, so it's floating underwater, which hopefully kept all the electronics secured, but also, most importantly, it meant the thing would float at all. If it couldn't float, it would have lost it for sure. And this is the battery that went into the drink with it. As you might be able to see, there's a little bit of instant corrosion on the battery leads, but it still seems to work. Even more corrosion on this one, but I can still plug into it to get a reading. Actually, it's come back to storage voltage pretty much. No, hang on, 377, 379, and now it's screaming, 254, so it's critically low. For comparison, here's a fully charged battery of the same type, a much older one. The one that went in the drink was brand new. But looks like it'll charge up and be okay. In fact, with that reading I've just got, I'll go out and put it on the charger before I do much else. So the reason I've got this good battery here is I'm going to plug it in and see what happens. Scary time. It's not happy. I think I can say the thing is fucked. So it's a new flight controller. Oh well, I didn't expect it to survive, but hey, who knows till you try. So the next thing to do will be to try out the camera. So the next thing to do is to use the same cable to check out the ELRS RX on the drone. So here's the RP1 RX to attach the drone. Here's my Heath Robinson cable arrangement, where I've adapted the 4-way to a 2-way for just the power supply, and I'll plug it in and see if it explodes. Hey, no, it's showing signs of life. It's blinking away happily, so we'll let that go for a bit and see if it's going to flick over into Wi-Fi mode, which it should do after 60 seconds. So meanwhile, I've got the PC ready to log in, and 10.0.0.1, and because I've done this before, it should know the password already. So as soon as I click on that, it should come up with the screen on it. That is assuming that it goes into Wi-Fi mode, which is by no means certain. 60 minutes is a long time when you're waiting. Actually, I'll turn this on to standby. No, hang on, it's just done it. I've got to find it here. There it is, Express ELRS. It's found it. If I say go on that, hey! Oh, that's fantastic. The RP1 is still alive. I wasn't sure what to expect there, so I didn't get a surge of anything that screwed it up. So I've still got one of these little suckers that I can put attached to the next flight stack when I'm ready to go. So pleased with that. So I'll depower it and add it to the useful bits I can use again. So that's the new Radiomaster RP1 VTX that I'm holding here. You see, nice and shiny, particularly the soldering, which wasn't too bad. I'm all right with tiny joints. And here's the one that went in the drink, so you can see a bit of corrosion on it. But I thought one last test, having checked that the Wi-Fi works, that it comes up, I'll make sure that I can bind it to a pocket. Okay, so the pocket's fired up, and I'll just plug this in again. So there's the
0 volts.
There's the thing. It looks to me as if it's bound. The way I can tell it's bound is just by pressing this.
10 milliwatts.
Yep.
0 volts.
And with the inbuilt ELRS on this pocket, it comes up with the 10 volt starting voltage. On the one with the nano, of course,
milliwatts.
it comes
0
up
volts.
comes up with 25 milliwatts. So it's binding all right and it's working. So I don't know, I'll probably put it in my spare parts rather than put on something I'm going to fly over the ocean, but nice to know it's there. So that pretty well completes the evaluation of the bits from the down drone, and now of course I'm just waiting for some new parts to arrive. So live and learn, maybe.